Honestly, if I could wear this blush every day for the rest of my life, I would be very happy about that. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Carmel, and in today's video we have some new Morphe makeup to take a look at. So I've got a few items, but the main things we're going to be looking at are these new Morphe CloudLight Powder Blushes. Yeah, very exciting. And also we are going to be using one of the new 6-pan chroma palettes. So this is one of the all matte palettes, which I know is a little bit out of the ordinary for me, isn't it? Because I do love a good shimmer, but today we're going to be playing around with this, and I've got a couple of other bits to show you as well. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please do keep on watching. So let's kick off with the new eyeshadow palettes. Now these 6-pan palettes are nothing new, but they have just added to the collections. The other one is called Tailored Nudes, which is more kind of warm tone. Actually, there's a third matte palette, which is Mauve Mode, which is more, obviously, mauvey, pinky, which is really, really nice. This one, which is Underslated, is more of a cool, well, I say it's cool. I'd say it's 80% cool because there are some extra shades thrown in here. I'll start with a close-up of the swatches. So we're starting with Blank Slate, which is a matte cream. And then moving on to Comfort Zone, which is a matte soft rose. And that has a little bit more of a warm undertone, actually. Then we've got Cashmere Only, which is a matte taupe. Then we have Street Chic, which is a matte slate grey. Totally Timeless, which is a matte chocolate. More neutral leaning, I would say, and Pad Black, which is a matte black. It really reminds me of one of the Natasha Denona palettes, the minis. I think that the shades are so similar. I don't have that palette. I wish I did, and then I could do a comparison. But anyway, we're going to go in with this. Let me just get my hair out of the way. So this retails for €17, and I think it's actually really good value. I have been using and testing this, so this is not a first impression. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this shade here, which is Comfort Zone, which is the rosy shade. And I'm going to use a Morphe M333 for this. I love this shade, and actually it's a beautiful all over lid colour, and I will be using it all over the lid as well as a transition. Now the one thing I want to say about this palette, which is different to all of the other palettes I have from Morphe, there's quite a bit of kick up in the pan. However, when I was worried at first when I first started using it, but it doesn't, it's not a dusty formula at all. There's just kick up in the pan. And you do get that with some eyeshadow formulas. The Makeup by Mario, his Ethereal original palette, there's so much kick up in the pan with that, but it's still a great palette. I'm just going to bring some of that underneath as well. These are pigmented, but they're also very, very soft. This blends so nicely. I mean, I barely have to do anything to it. I really love that shade. It's so, so pretty. Then I'm going to go into this shade, which is Cashmere Only. And I'm going to take another Morphe brush for this. This is the Morphe M331. And again, I'll be bringing it under the lash line as well. So I'm now going to go into this chocolate brown. For this, I'm going to use a Morphe Eye Detail brush, the M383, because I just want to bring some of that on the outer corner, but not a whole lot of it. Do you know what? I'm going to go in with, just stuck my nails into the palette. Why me? I'm actually going to go into that grey, and I'm just going to use a tiny bit of it, and I'm just going to go over what I just did. I don't want too much grey because grey can look a bit unflattering on me, but a little bit is fine. Don't worry about any fallout that we have. We will clean that up. So I'm going to go back into this shade here, and that's the shade that I use for the transition. I'm taking a Morphe M303 brush. I'm just going to bring that all over the lid, right up to my crease. It's so pretty. Probably my favourite shade. And then I'm going to go into this cream shadow. I don't have another Morphe shader brush, so I'm going to go in with a BK Beauty A505. A505 is what I meant to say. I can't speak. And this is just going to go near in a corner, just blending towards those other shadows. I'm going to use a little bit of this black, this matte black, So I'm going to take a Sigma E06 brush, just take it directly on the lash line. This is genuinely the blackest of blacks. It's so nice. That is such an easy eyeshadow look to go for. Obviously, it's quite understated. It's not going to be, you know, like the shimmery looks that we go for where you can see it from the moon, but I really, really enjoy this palette. Let me go and clean up the face, throw some mascara on, and we'll share our final thoughts on this one. So I think in summary, I really do like this palette. I think it's really, really nice. The mattes blend really beautifully. You know, I was expecting the worst. When I saw the amount of kick up and powderiness that is in the pan, I was really concerned. I thought that we were going back to the old Morphe days, but despite the amount of powderiness that is in the palette, it doesn't really translate to the face at all. However, I have such high expectations for Morphe now that I was a little bit disappointed at, you know, the amount of powderiness in there. So just be aware of that. However, if you can deal with the kick up in the pan, I think you'll really like this. If you like matte eyeshadows, I think it's really pretty. It's called Underslated. It's more of an understated eyeshadow look. Perfect for every day. Perfect for people who don't really like shimmer. I really enjoy this. I think it's great for travel. I'm a fan, but I'm not a fan of the powderiness, so just be aware of that. Let's move on now to these blushes that they've released. These are the CloudLight Soft Glow Diffused blushes. So if you have been here before, you'll know that I really love their finishing powder, which is from the same line. So these retail for €17, and these are supposed to be the same kind of finish as the finishing powder. So give you that little bit of luminosity. It actually says that it's going to give you a lit from within glow. So I do have two shades, but I'm not going to apply two today, but I'm going to show you footage of me applying the second shade. So I picked up the shade Fluff, which is described as a soft pink, and also Breeze, which is a rich mauve. So I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to show you in comparison to some other blushes that I have. So I've put together just a few comparison swatches for you. So starting off with the new Morphe in the shade Fluff. Moving on to the new Morphe shade Breeze. Then we've got the MAC Skin Finish Powder Blush in Thanks It's MAC, which is a satin finish. And following that up with another MAC blush. This is a matte finish instead of a satin, and this is in the shade Desert Rose. Then we have the Rare Beauty Powder Blush in the shade Happy. And then lastly, we've got the CoverGirl True Blend Skin Enhancer Baked Blush in the shade 410 Rose Latte. And these all have really similar finishes apart from that MAC matte blush. Let's dive in and apply the shade Fluff. And I'm going to apply with my Morphe M160 brush, which is my favourite blush brush. I have no bronzer on today, just a little bit of a skin tint. So I'm just going to apply pretty high up. I can't tell you how gorgeous this is. I love it. I definitely love it more than Breeze. Breeze is very pigmented, like super pigmented. So these contain shea butter and also hyaluronic acid for hydration. They claim to blur the skin and again give you that radiance at the same time. You can see the finish of it in the pan. It's designed to give you multi-dimensional colour. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? So this is definitely not a matte blush. So every time I review a blush like this, people ask me if there's any glitter in there. If you were to take a torch and to shine it really intensely on this blush, when you swatch it, you'll be able to see some little particles of, I'm reluctant to say shimmer or glitter, but obviously there is a little bit of that in these, just like with the Milani blush, but I don't notice it. You do not notice it when you look at your skin, honestly. Because it has some luminosity, you are going to get a little bit of enhancing of texture if you have a lot of texture there. Now, I don't care really about that. Obviously, if I was having rosacea flare up, I would care. But the way that this is reflecting is just perfection for me. I don't need a highlighter. I think it's absolutely beautiful. You'd really have to go looking for the micro particles that are in there, but I think that is what contributes to that lit from within glow. But I think it looks absolutely stunning. I really absolutely love it. So another product that I did pick up, which I don't need today, but I'm going to show it you anyway. I don't think this is new, but it's new to me. So this is the Dreamlight Gelée Highlighter Stick. And this retails for €16. And that's how it looks. I picked up Over Ice, which is very cool toned. Now, I've never had such a cool feeling highlighter before. It's really something else. I've not made up my mind about this and what I think of it. Can you see how it's just very reflective? But one thing that I have found with this that is different to, for example, the L'Oreal Lumi or any of the new highlighters that have come out from Dior and Charlotte Tilbury, this has zero tack to it, whereas the other ones have a bit of tack to begin with and then they will set down. I'm not sure I don't need it. I don't know how I really feel about it, to be honest. This has quite a bit of shimmery particles in there, for sure. I can definitely see them. So for that reason, it wouldn't really be my favorite, to be honest. I would say if you want to have a cream highlighter and you want to have one without shimmering, I'd go for the L'Oreal Lumila Glass. They are absolute perfection. I think these are overpriced, to be honest, at €16. They wouldn't really be something that I would say you need to run out and get. This is, yeah, it's nice if you like a lot of reflection, but there's a lot of reflection with these. They are not very subtle. Yeah. I'm not sure about those. The last product that I wanted to talk about was this. This is the Morphe Lifeproof Continuous Setting Mist. I have the mini because I bought the mini to take away with me. And this is absolutely fantastic, honestly. Let me pop it on. First of all, it feels incredibly refreshing. The mister is unlike anything I've ever experienced before. Claims to deliver 16 hours of setting power, so it's waterproof, sweatproof and transfer resistant, and it is alcohol free as well, and I can guarantee that it will fulfill those claims. And the other thing that I love about it is it doesn't leave my skin looking dewy. It leaves my skin just very, very natural. Everything about this I absolutely love. It does have a little bit of a fragrance to this, but it's not overpowering. It just feels quite, it just smells quite fresh, to be honest. I love it. The only thing I don't like about this is you don't know whether you've got anything in it because it's like it's filled with air. So I won't know when I'm coming to the end because it doesn't feel like there's any liquid in there. I am definitely getting the full size though. This is absolutely brilliant. I took it to Spain with me and it really did lock in my makeup and make sure that it didn't budge at all when I was sweating. This is a brilliant product, probably the best setting spray that I've tried this year. The last thing that I want to go in with is one of these Morphe Liplock lipsticks. I've spoken about these so much recently, but I picked up another shade before I went away. This is the shade Clutched Pearls. Quite hard to see, but it's just a very pale pink. And I've been loving this. This is like my new summer shade. So I'm just going to pop a bit of liner on. This is the Dior lip liner in the shade 310 Beige 2. I love those two together. Oh my gosh. And these Morphe Liplock lipsticks, if you were not aware, they're amazing because they have this kind of two-tiered system. So even though they look like a shiny lipstick, once that shine wears off, it will leave you with a bit of a tint behind, and they're just so nice. Clutched Pearls is definitely my #1 shade. I had Court Rose. I have Court Rose. That's beautiful for every day as well. But this, just something about this shade that I just truly love. Love it. Let's just recap and I'll tell you what I would recommend and what I think you can skip. So the palette, I definitely recommend. I think it's really beautiful. I think it's great for every day. Great for just a go-to matte eyeshadow look. You could actually use pretty much, I think this one as an all over one and done, or grey if it's up your alley. But be aware of the powderiness in the pan. It is annoying. It is really annoying. And I think if I had the choice between the 12 pan and the 6 pan, I mean, obviously the quality of the £12 just seems better to me, but for travel, you cannot go wrong with this. The blushes are insanely beautiful. Now, they are not going to minimize your texture. I know they say they're blurring, but because they are luminous, you are going to get luminosity from them. That means that it's going to enhance a little bit of texture. And with those micro fine particles in there, you know, that is what's going to give you that glow. I think these are stunning. Be careful with the more pigmented shades because they are so pigmented, so pigmented. And I did want to say that these blushes are super long lasting. I don't know whether they have a technology in there that helps them to be fade resistant, but these look premium 12 hours later on your face. I couldn't believe how my blush looked 12 hours later. Like, it literally looked freshly applied after 12 hours. This will look like this all day. Honestly, if I could wear this blush every day for the rest of my life, I would be very happy about that. If you love setting sprays, if you have a problem with longevity in your makeup, but you want your setting mist to be lightweight, non-dewy, very natural, wow. And this, just for a refresher, this is absolutely, oh my gosh, I've never tried, honestly, I've never tried a mister like it. It's just so beautifully refreshing. It feels calming. My skin loves this mist. Definitely, definitely one to check out. And obviously it goes without saying that the Morphe Liplock lipsticks, oh my gosh, they are a must. They really are amazing. I'm not really a big fan of this highlighter. It's not the best in the world. I think it's a little bit too reflective, and you know, the big plus I guess is that it's non-sticky, but I still prefer the L'Oreal Lumila Glass. I would still choose that over this, and I think for the price of this, I think it's a little bit overpriced. Yeah, I think there's better out there. So please do let me know, have you tried any of these products, or do you have any on your list? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video. But until then, take care and bye for now.